Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Curse of Monkey Island. So, we, through seeing 4 or 5 cutscenes kind of in a row, finished the Act 4, now we're in Act 5. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of hurry here, we might very easily finish the entire game. We were instantly captured at the end of Act 4, and now LeChuck has Elaine tied up over here, and Guybrush in the Carnival of the Damned with a bunch of TNT around here. We're gonna try and talk our way out of this. He said he's gonna give her the treasure of Big Whoop. Let's see. This would be an interesting one.
Elaine will never marry you. She loves
see
me.
see her response. That
She loves me.
Nuh-uh, she loves me.
Does not.
There's a couple things I noticed. There's a person walking over this way. Seems like we're gonna have to go through each of these options.
What's so special about the treasure of Big Whoop? Isn't it just like any other pirate treasure?
I see. Ye do not yet know the dreadful power that be Big Whoop.
There's a monkey in the background over
Wake in fear,
behind the
Threepwood.
back
I'll
balcony.
tell thee that Big Whoop be a damned portal to a demon netherworld.
Okay.
The treasures of Big Whoop be the very gates of hell themselves.
Yipe.
And so why are you giving that to... So yeah, I saw Monkey Tail pop up over here. So yeah, they seem like this is going to be a significant amount of time because they've got little bits of extra animation here.
But how will Big Whoop make Elaine love you?
Elaine shall pass through the hoary gates of Big Whoop, just as I once did, down to the inky blackness of the infernal nether regions. For you see, Big Whoop gives those who pass through it the greatest gift of all, immortality.
I feel like in the Tales
Cost.
has a Shatner,
Granted,
William
people may
Shatner
find me
Star
a bit
Trek reference.
unapproachable now, and the smell does take a while to get used to. But it'd be worth everything now that I have the power to make Elaine love me.
I feel like in the Telltale Monkey Island game, there was some point where she became a like ghost pirate type character. Here's the real question.
This whole amusement park. Why?
The Big Whoop Carnival was my most brilliant idea. Once I had the power of Big Whoop at my command, I could make Elaine mine at last.
I see. But again, why an amusement park?
I'll be getting to that. I knew Elaine would need a little coaxing, and that I'd be needing an army. A horrible army of the undead.
Okay, but why an amusement park?
Are you going to let me finish? I'm not talking just to hear myself talk, you know.
You're right. I've been rude. Please, go on.
Everyone knows that the life of a seaman is a long, hard, lonely one. Sailors spend months longing for just a few days' leave. And you know what they're looking for as soon as they get into port, eh?
It would be potentially interesting, there's a monkey again, had they done like a prequel series where you played as the person who is going to become LeChuck, but they didn't really tell you that his name was LeChuck, and it wasn't until like the very end of the game that you see him turn into a demon, tragically, that then you could have potentially had Guybrush Threepwood not have to be the main focus because he is kind of a flat one-note character that's not terrible for the player stand-in character, but playing as somebody different would have been slightly interesting. And you already had called it the Monkey Island series, not the LeChuck series or the Guybrush Threepwood series. You could have also heavily implied that you were playing as, say, his ancestor, and it turns out instead of playing as his ancestor, you're playing as LeChuck.
A family-oriented fun park.
Oh, that. Of course.
They come to take a ride on the giant roller coaster, the Great Monkey Mountain. They reach the top of the highest peak, and then hands in the air, screaming like monkeys. They plunge down the slope into a great stream of lava.
That doesn't sound the least bit fun.
Aye, it's not. In fact, it's downright unpleasant. But
There's a
when
lot
they
of
reach
background
the
sound
other side,
effects that are
they're
looping.
fitting warriors for my skeletal army of the damned.
Okay. Let's see.
How did you find Big Whoop?
That'd be a long story. Are you sure you want to hear it?
Not really.
Does the torture start after we're done talking here?
Aye.
Go on then.
Back when I were alive, Elaine
So this is gonna be
spied.
dialogue.
No.
No, it's true. I can see that now. She didn't like me at all. But I were determined to
It'd also
prove
be
it
interesting to
worked
play
her.
as Elaine for one
So,
game.
I set sail to find the
Again,
legendary
set it as a
secret of
potential
Monkey Island.
backstory. That would have been interesting too. Instead of doing basically the same thing 3 games in a row.
What is the secret of Monkey Island?
The secret of Monkey Island. I could tell you, but I'd rather make you guess.
Let's see. So here's spoilers for old movies. Rosebud is a sled. The guy's girlfriend is really a man. I forget the name of that movie. That they shoot the dog at the end. I guess that's the end of Yeller. That it's made from people. That's Soylent Green. That the girl is her daughter and her sister. I don't know what movie that would be. That the sequel can never be as good as the original.
That a sequel can never be as good as the original?
Lies! Filthy, dirty lies!
That's definitely true with this game.
No, it goes
This is
much
way
deeper than
worse
that.
written and way worse
It's an
of a game
ancient secret,
than
closely
this,
guarded,
the
by
original
the
Monkey
natives
Island game.
and, pirates who happen to...
You don't even know the secret of Monkey Island, do you?
No, not really.
Alright then. Let's get on with your story.
A few days after setting sail, my ship was caught in a terrible typhoon and was torn apart. I would have drowned, but some friendly sharks found me and set me ashore on Blood Island. There I was, marooned, with no hope of winning Elaine's heart.
We were just on
I
Blood
thought my
Island.
luck had run out. But one day, a ship made port at Blood Island. 'Twas the ship of one Captain Marley, Elaine's own grandfather. I struck up a conversation with Rum Rogers Sr., first mate on the ship. And for the price of a few drinks, I learned that they had the map to the legendary
So
treasure
this
of Big
this
Wolf.
story would have happened
Although I had no ship,
a generation or two before Elaine
Hold on.
is her current age. So you could have easily made a prequel around that story. Let's see if this lets us sit down.
Can I sit down? Both my legs are going to sleep.
although I had no ship and no money.
Your
Planned to beat Marley's crew to the
choices
border
of
and
dialogue
finish
here
the
again, not really
mission. I didn't have
changing
the money to
anything.
buy a new ship, but I still had my greatest asset.
You know, playing this almost kills Telltale Games concept, which is just really this concept evolved. But yeah, if this was showing up as a Telltale prompt right now, and you had 30 seconds to answer, it probably would help a little bit to just speed things up and just have default or silence or no answer. And then LeChuck will remember that. But just so blatantly and apparently realize the game making it so blatant and apparent that your choices don't matter. Just really kills us. And I'm barely even paying attention from sentence to sentence, so I don't even remember what I'm responding to. Like, I don't even know what the prompt was. Might be a little bit helpful to have that line of dialogue here.
Your immunity to soap?
But I still had my greatest asset. That indefinable LeChuck charm. One of the rich young debutantes.
He could definitely be talking faster for as much dialogue as
After a
here.
week with me, she would have
At least for
followed
my
me to the
tastes.
grave. Unfortunately for her, she didn't get the chance.
And his lip flaps are
Pried the
just
diamond from her
going
family's
back and
estate
forth
thing and sold it to
and
some
not
cutthroat
really sync
smugglers
to
for the cost
him
of a new
talking.
ship.
All right, LeChuck. Was she hot? Did you kiss her?
Well,
Oh, come on. You can tell me.
I don't want to be talking about that. It be personal. And besides, dead men tell no tales.
Oh, I was waiting for that one.
With me new ship, I easily overtook Marley's crew and beat them to Big Whoop, which just so happened to be here on Monkey Island.
It might be a little bit more interesting if Elaine was actually accomplishing something over here. It is kind of pathetic to have her just gagged and tied up. She might as well not be in the scene at all. He could have just said, "Oh, she's in a cell in my keep," or something like that. Or she could be thinking, you could be seeing little thought bubbles above her head, just implying, "Good, keep him talking." And as the dialogue is going, you might start to see her wiggling her way out of the ropes. So that was a whole lot of story there that added to another dialogue. Let's ask this question, and I think we're supposed to ask this question. And then I think what we're doing is we're just adding more and more dialogue to some revelation.
But if you kill Elaine, won't she hate you even more?
Aye, at first. But soon she'll be understanding what a grand gift eternal life be. And besides, the dating pool be surprisingly small when you're the living dead. She'll just have to give me another chance.
So that was the end of that line of dialogue, and I guess we're supposed to keep asking this question. Unless we're supposed to just give up and lose the game by saying, let's get this over with.
What happened to Captain Marley and his crew?
Their ship arrived at Monkey Island.
If I was
half
to
hour after mine,
just
but they were
give
too
up
late to stop me from claiming me
and try to move the story
prize. And
forward,
they watched me pass through the portal
then I
of
won't
Big
see
Whoop.
any of the story or
Cowards
understand
they
what's
were,
going on
the
at
power
all.
of
Not that I
they saw
barely
overwhelmed
understand
them. They
what the
fled
backstory
island
here
in
is.
terror. Marley tore his treasure map into 4 pieces and gathered his crew around him. There was Rum Rogers Sr., the first mate, Rapscallion, the cook, and young Lindy, the cabin boy.
I feel like this is
Marley
just
gave
telling
each a
us
piece of the map, keeping one for himself.
what happened in the first
Promised to
game.
guard those map pieces with their lives. I saw to it that they kept their promise. They were the only people alive to know about Big Whoop.
It seems very much like we may have run into all of these characters in the previous games.
What happened to Rum Rogers Sr.?
He was taking a bath in his cabin near Fat Island, drinking rum.
Either
and
that or
eating
we're gonna have
as
to
he
go
always did while
and
bathing.
go
When
around
the
getting all these
toaster
pieces.
mysteriously fell into the tub with him.
Shocking.
His son inherited the map piece, but was too much of a drunkard to understand its importance.
Why would we need to get the map to Big Whoop when we're at Big Whoop? Why would you need to tell me the story of how these pieces of a map to a place we're already at?
What happened to
This
Rapscallion?
really doesn't make any sense.
Rapscallion died in a flash fire in his weenie hut on Scab Island.
Yeah, he was.
Right. I brought him back to life with a voodoo spell. I remember it so vividly.
Yeah, that was in the first game for sure. And see, they're even showing the animation of the first game, which in comparison,
I was miles away.
this
What were you
animation is more modern and nice animation, bright, colorful animation, but I kind of think I would have preferred the original animation style.
You can hear the explosion as far as Booty Island.
That's horrible.
Steamin' weenie indeed.
What became of young Lindy, the cabin boy?
Fearing for his life, he came to me and begged for mercy. In return for not revealing the location of Big Whoop, I let him live. As a sign of me gratitude, I gave him a fortune, which he used to build a successful advertising firm. Once he had grown accustomed to his wealthy lifestyle, I returned to collect me debt. I delivered to him an account so demonically ill-conceived that it was doomed to fail. Gangrene and honey. Within a month, he was penniless and insane, a broken man.
I don't think we've run into this
Got
guy.
so desperate, he fell in with a traveling circus. He was killed, but he was shot from a cannon without a helmet.
Oh, well, that was a guy.
Desperate.
See, this really just feels like we're going through the greatest hits of the first game and some little bits of the second game. Just a terrible waste of time.
What fate befell Captain Marlin?
Particularly if people hadn't played the first two games recently.
I boarded his ship and decided to
I
let
played
him
them a
determine
couple of
his
years
own
ago,
fate.
and I don't recall
He could
half of
grant
this.
me his blessing to have his granddaughter's hand in marriage, or he could suffer a death more horrible than any of his crewmates.
Well, what'd he say?
Actually, he said quite a few things. Oh, the pain. Stop it, you're killing me.
And see, that's the first time she's even responded.
Some other things, I forget them all. I left him for dead and sent his ship into a whirlpool not even the most accomplished captain could escape.
You're unbelievably ghastly and wretched.
Ooh, thanks. Ah.
But yeah, that line of dialogue really didn't feel like it would accomplish anything.
Anyway, Elaine really loves
I'm
me.
not sure any of this is accomplishing anything.
Does two love me?
Does not.
Is he just gonna respond does not forever?
Does two infinity?
Does... Curse you and your diabolical debate skills.
But she kinda doesn't love you. Like, there's been some brief moments where she seems to be willing to tolerate you, and that's about it. It would have been probably smart if they had settled down and gone on an adventure that was not shown between the events of Monkey Island 1 and Monkey Island 2, or even Monkey Island 2 and Monkey Island 3. That way you could evolve the relationship in some direction. She could certainly be mad at you, but if that anger was with some underlining passion and love, that would be nice. Really, we haven't seen any of that. It's just Guybrush is pig-headed and thinks she loves him when we don't see enough of her to really know the truth at all. Even if the voodoo lady had just told us at the beginning of the first game that she was secretly destined to fall in love with you, or she secretly had a crush on you or something, and she just refused to admit it, that would be something. I guess we'll go with Please Don't Kill Me, and then we'll just get this over
Please
with.
don't kill me.
Why shouldn't I?
If you kill me,
Let's see. I've crushed the hopes and dreams of all children all over the world. I really don't think this is a children's game. Not because I think it's not appropriate per se. I mean, it really does feel like a children's cartoon. It's just not very fun or interactive enough to be a children's game, and I don't think kids were really ever playing the Monkey Island series or too many point and click adventure games anyways. Even the ones that were targeted towards kids often were overly complicated and difficult. There'll be no more Monkey Island series.
There'll be no more Monkey Island sequels. No sequels means no work for you. You'll become just another has-been that nobody's heard of.
Oh, that could never happen to me. I'm LeChuck.
Do you know the name Bobbin Threadbare?
No.
Exactly.
That's the name of the character in Loom, who never got a sequel, although Loom really didn't lend itself to ever possibly having a sequel, and it wouldn't have played well. It played so uniquely with its music mechanics instead of verb words mechanic that would have been a little bit weird. A remaster of Loom or a remake would be interesting, certainly in modern time, but it still would probably not sell that well. The better argument is why there wasn't another game like The Dig, which is a lesser known sci-fi point and click adventure that LucasArts made.
Pretty please, don't kill me.
Why shouldn't I?
If you kill me,
Do we just go through all of these?
you'll ruin our reputation for making family-oriented games. We'll be scorned by parent watchdog groups everywhere.
What'll you threaten me with next? Some ludicrous Senate subcommittee investigating violence in the media.
Unfortunately, that did happen. Led to the creation of the ESRB.
Pretty please,
Guess
don't
we'll
kill
just go with all
Why
these.
shouldn't I?
me. If you kill me, you'll crush the hopes of children all over the world. I'm a hero to millions.
It doesn't matter. All that matters is that Elaine and I are together. And you are out of the picture for good.
You know what's funny is Peter Pan and other pirate stories, I would not put Guybrush, Threepwood, and Monkey Island in that same category, were very popular amongst kids of a certain generation. Although the most recent generation converted, had like a Peter Pan like character that doesn't even like steal from other people because stealing is wrong, and it's all just like moral plays under pirates who share and are always happy, and it's like, wow, this is for kids that are like 4 years old, and it totally doesn't embody any of the ideas of a pirate story, of the general idea of them being morally ambiguous and doing the wrong things and going on action adventure experiences. Like even the Peter Pan Disney movie and cartoon series by modern time has been replaced with something that is so wholly sanitized and simplified. It's ridiculous. I don't think there's ever going to be another generation that particularly is as much in love with pirate stories, because half of pirate stories, if not most of pirate stories, have become sci-fi stories or superhero stories, and that's the way it goes. In the same way that westerns used to be immensely popular in the United States, and now they are never made and are never really popular.
Pretty please,
Let's
don't kill
go
me.
through all this.
Why
This is
shouldn't I?
taking 30 minutes
If you
just to
kill
do
me-
this dialogue.
You'll be in really big trouble.
I'm
The-
one of the walking dead. Formed
This
not
is
of flesh and
definitely
blood,
before
but of
The
fire
Walking
and
Dead
brimstone. How could
zombie
I be
comic
in any more
book.
trouble?
Yeah, well,
I can't use any items. I think we probably should just get this over with, and then it probably is going to put us on this loop, and we're going to have to try and figure out some way to save ourselves.
I'm still confused about the carnival.
Then ask me. As designer and founder, I can answer all your questions.
Let's see.
Who told you this was a good idea? You're insane.
Maybe, Threepwood, maybe. But I did it all for love.
Yeah, I don't think I need to ask any of these questions, nor do I.
I'm not ashamed to admit
I
it.
don't think I want to ask any more questions about the carnival, because it's just going to go nowhere.
I've heard enough of your evil stories. Let's get this over with.
But there'd be so many more horrible things I'd be wanting to tell you.
I'm not listening to you anymore. See, I'm ignoring you.
Ah, you'd better listen.
Oh, do we have to listen? See, now this would be interesting if she had loosened her leg at this point, and then she had kind of motioned to me that she was free, and then he walks closer and she kicks him into the carnival ride, and then it starts moving, and then we start fighting or something like that. That would be an interesting response to this.
Did somebody say something? I didn't hear anything.
Very well, Threepwood. If you're going to act like a child, I'll help you get in the mood. I think you deserve a timeout, young man.
I regret nothing.
So here we have another one of these cutscenes. And alright. I guess we got
It's not locked. Your plan was flawless, LeChuck.
I got turned into a
Minor
kid.
detail. That will be your downfall.
Or a small version. And this animation looks really terrible.
He's taking Elaine on his roller coaster of death. I've got to reach her before she becomes his undead bride. What's happened to me? Head foggy. Can't think. Mind swimming. Must concentrate.
I
And
literally
rescue
think
Elaine.
that they're just
I've
gonna
got to
give us
save
the
Elaine.
same ending as
How
the
can I save Elaine
second
when I'm
game.
just a little boy. Oh, if only I could think straight. Must clear my mind.
Welcome to the Big Whoop Carnival, little guy. Come on over here and meet your old pal Dingy Dog.
I see the
Oh,
skeleton
crying out loud.
guy over here, Murray. Let's see. Do we have a mind clearer? No, we have several other items. Magic wand.
I don't think he'd like that.
Let's talk to Murray.
Yo, Murray.
Hey, it's you. Are you dead yet? You look different.
Not dead, Murray. Just cursed.
Cursed? That's perfect. I'm cursed too. Let's join our cursed forces together, and together we can rule the world.
Yeah. Let me get back to you on that. Well, I like the guy, but this is getting ridiculous.
I'm gonna take the meringue pies.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I just want one of those pies.
Yeah? Well, I just want out of this stinking rat head. Life's tough, kid. Go.
Let's see if we can fire the cannon.
Hey! You're too little to use that cannon, kid. And
Right.
wait for one of the older boys to come along, huh?
But I really want to fire it.
It's too dangerous for a little boy to use.
I'm not a
So we're
little
gonna have to
boy.
grow
I'm
up.
20 years old.
Right, and I'm Dingy Dog.
You wish.
Half-pint little punk. Get lost before I have to do something you're gonna regret.
Let's see what's over here. We've got a Monty Maringu.
I can't go back there. I'm deathly afraid of mimes.
It's a mime. Let's use the scale.
That's not a toy, little boy.
And I really don't want to talk to this guy. So I think the puzzle is we have to
Must
be this
as tall as
tall.
my hand to ride the roller coaster.
Alright, so we've got to ride the roller coaster. And then we have a snow cone
It
sign.
says snow cones. What kind of snow cones do you have?
What kind of cones did you ask? Why, I have every kind imaginable. I have the most
Okay.
type of snow cones in the world. In fact, my cones are so original, so inventive, and so unique.
This
that most
animation
are
on this
completely
character is
inedible.
particularly
Let me
weird.
list some for you. I have sweet cones, meat cones, cold cones, mold cones, bold cones with lime, cones with slime, veggie cones, wedgie cones, hedgy cones. I used some of my
I have to
neighbor's
clear
veggie
my
back
head.
on. Cones with spice, cones with rice, berry cones, dairy cones, dairy cones.
So
And
I
at
think I have to
Christmas,
use the recipe book
Mary cone.
to
So, what do you think of that?
do that. This is a horrible animation though.
I'd like a plain snow cone, please.
Okay,
That's all you get apparently. So it's not a trick like that.
bye now.
Let's see. Because we do have this recipe book. And let's see. Let's see. Clears foggy head. We need 1 egg, 1 pepper, and a bit of a hair of the dog that bit you. So we would need an egg. Which, unless there's some fly eggs in this,
It's a plain snow cone.
I don't know how we would do that. I feel like we should use this on the dingy dog to make him a mad
Oops, my
dog.
snow cone melted.
Let's just talk to this guy and see if we can get through this rather quickly. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go another 30 minutes, almost certainly.
I'd like to speak to your manager.
Oh, no, you don't, little boy. Just the sight of my manager has caused children older than you to burst into tears.
I need to get on the roller coaster.
I'll bet you do. It's fun. But
Come
that
on,
ride's
do you have
only for bigger kids.
I don't
anything
care if
there?
it's not safe. I have to ride it now.
Oh, no, son. It's not that it's not safe for little kids to ride. It's just that you've got to be much, much older to really appreciate the sheer mind-numbing terror of the coaster. But wait a few years and you'll have matured enough to ride. You'll also be able to buy candy and eat it whenever and wherever you want. Just like us grown-ups can.
Let's see. Let's go with this, and then I think that's pretty much the only other option, and then we're gonna have
How
to
can I
call
win
it a
one of these
day.
fabulous prizes?
Well, that's easy.
Way too much
Baby.
dialogue there.
If I can't guess your
Backstory.
weight or your age, you get to pick what you want.
What's the catch?
Okay.
There's no catch. It's just that easy.
Okay.
I'll bet you can't guess how old I am.
Bet you I can. A
So he
little
did say he was
fearsome
20.
buccaneer like yourself must be 7 years old.
Ha! Wrong. I just so happen to be 20.
Well, do you have any proof for your old pal Dingy Dog?
You calling me a liar?
You bet I am.
I have my proof right here.
Scum Actors Guild membership card. Guybrush, Threepwood, age 20? I suppose you're
That's
right.
weird that that item
Pick your
wasn't in your
prize.
inventory. Let's see. Set me up with a toy cannon. Set me up with those toy voodoo dolls. Set me up with the costume.
How about your costume? Can I have that?
Nope. And keep quiet about the costume, son. We don't want to ruin the magic of Big Whoop for the other little boys and girls, now do we?
Smuggle Bunny feels like there would be something inside of it.
of those toy voodoo dolls.
Well, what do you know? Seems like your buddy Dingy Dog forgot to mention something.
I see. Typical. I suppose you're telling me that's one of your prestige prizes now.
You bet I am. Would you like to play again?
Okay.
Alrighty. I would guess that you are 20 years old.
Wait a second. That's not fair.
Neither is life, son. You learned a valuable lesson today, and that's the best prize of all. Choose again.
So now we're down to the anchor and the talking skull.
Give me that anchor.
Well, take it away, son. Congratulations. Enjoy your stay here at Big Whoop.
Okay, so we get the
Look
anchor.
into your heart. I'm the prize you really want. What? You picked the anchor?
It's a really nice anchor, Murray. Sorry.
And
I
let's
can't
see.
believe you picked that stupid anchor instead of me.
Use that in the meringue pie.
Stay away from those! What good is a dumb hunk of iron anyway?
Interesting.
It's not even a real anchor.
Can
I'm a
we
real fucking skull.
now use the
After all
balloon?
we've been through,
Maybe later.
Can't even use that right now.
take the stupid anchor.
Can we take Murray
You
too?
would have made a lousy.
I like the guy, but this is getting ridiculous.
So yeah, it seems like the
I'm
anchor
going to
was
wait
the
for
thing
another
we were
who
supposed to
understands
use.
my need to bring fear and pestilence on the likes of you.
I don't know what a
It's all that's
soggy
left of my
paper
snow
cone
cone.
would
Get out of here!
work
before I
with.
call up the demonic legions of Hades and set them upon you like a swarm of angry locusts.
And he probably just won't shut up.
If
Okay.
you value your life,
Well, that was an incredibly long amount of time in which we
mortal, you will
just got backstory for previous games and justifications and explanations for the previous games that seemed completely unnecessary. Now, had they been telling us the backstory of what had happened in Monkey Island 1 and 2, say, at the beginning of the game, and then maybe, yeah, in one way or another, whether it was a flash forward and then the rest of the game was a flashback, or whether LeChuck just had you tied up and explained everything to you and then you escaped by some simple puzzle means, that would have been fine. But now it seems like they really are just stretching for time, just trying to make Act 5 be something of a decent amount of length compared to, say, Act 2, whereas a lot of the other acts have been medium at best and short in many, many cases. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.